If you
Okay.
want. Okay.
Give me a countdown, kind of.
3, 2, 1. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome
Welcome
back
back
to
to
Not
Not
Another
Another
Movie
Movie
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'm Caden,
I'm Alex.
and today we're talking about Conclave.
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 ClaveCon.
LaveCon.
I have no more left.
I don't either.
Okay.
That one took me a minute.
So we're recording this post-Oscars.
Yes.
I think is
Post-Oscars.
important to mention. And I just want to...
Conclave is a Oscar nominee
Conclave is a Oscar-nominated...
winner.
Nominated and winner. It was nominated for 8 Oscar nominations.
This past
Yes. Like
year alone.
2 weeks ago. Or a week ago.
8 different ones.
Yes.
Wow.
I guess
That's impressive.
I can list them really quickly if you want.
Yeah.
So it was nominated for Best Picture, Actor in a Leading Role, Actress in a Supporting Role, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Best Adapted Screenplay, because it's based on a book, Best Original Score, and Best Costume Design.
Wow.
So that's like every major category.
There's a lot of categories.
You can really be nominated for of the 23 that there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to that and talk
Yeah, we can
about
talk about
which
that
ones
more.
they won.
Yeah.
And such.
So where to start with Conclave?
Well, my interpretation of the movie.
Should we say that you haven't seen it before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
seen it
important.
before. Kaden's
I've seen it before.
once
I watched it before. Oscar season.
We just watched it. That was my first time watching it.
Yes.
I thought it was a refreshing movie, and I thought it was very cool how they made a melodrama sort of into a dramatic thriller feeling movie, mostly because of the music that it had in it.
Yeah.
Great music.
Phenomenal music.
Made me feel many things, you know.
Well, it's even like, it's almost, I don't want to call it like a simplistic, but it's like, it's recurring motifs that like, that punctuate a moment in the film. We're going to pause for OE time. We're good. The music, I think, serves as like a punctuation mark on every scene that, you know, you get the dun 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 noise, and it's really good.
Like I was waiting for violence to happen.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what?
Because
What is
it
this music
is
going
very thriller feeling.
Yeah.
In that way, or horror.
And the
feeling,
angles and the
yeah.
Which was cool because violence never really happened.
No.
A
little bit.
A little, but not in
A wall gets
something
exploded.
that you would have expected
Yes.
over the course of the movie.
It's a shocking moment. But I think that's also something to talk about with the story. You feel this rising tension as the runtime goes on.
Yeah.
And obviously it reaches that fever pitch in which a wall gets exploded. And I think that's kind of a testament to the screenwriting, which was nominated for.
Yeah.
That for a movie that's very talking heads and like it's not an action movie, obviously. It's like it's almost courtroom procedural.
That's why I felt it was so refreshing because they weren't using a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's like it's utilizing iconography of the Sistine Chapel and just like the Catholic Church as like a body.
Yeah. And this all could happen.
Yeah, it's all stuff
and
that could
has
happen.
happened.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Most likely, I would say.
Well, I think
for certain things.
That's the other thing about it is it's highlighting something that, you know, it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
Like a pope doesn't die.
Not very often.
Very often.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a big deal.
Like, I don't think either of us have seen that happen in our lifetime.
I don't think so.
So we've never really seen like this process. And I think that's why so many people were like genuinely obsessed with the movie. Because it feels so like fresh and kind of different than a lot of other kind of drama movies. Yeah. It's also very, you see a lot of like how uh, parallel it is to like American uh, like politics. Like you have uh, like the more conservative elements of the church, and you have
Yeah.
the more progressive, and how those are like constantly combating each other, and that's obviously very similar to what we go through.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there some of them like Bellini's inner circle was kind of referring to themselves as the liberal
yeah,
cardinals.
yeah.
So they definitely use that feeling
Mm.
for sure of
Well,
different sides.
I just think it's you almost expect something different out of uh, the church,
Yeah, because they're supposed to be
whether you should
the
or not.
church collectively, you
Um,
know.
as a collective, you're like, oh, they have like figured out, and then you realize like it's basically just the same. They're literally in like high school cliques, you know, at the
Yeah,
tables. Like
they were pointing
it's
out.
like the lunchroom table. It's like
Yeah,
you sit with your
yeah, they're pointing out how different ethnicities seek each other out and stay with each other,
yeah,
and they all have their inner circle. And
and it's like no one wants to like work together
yeah,
or like find a common solution on anything. And some people in the film have pretty harsh uh, mentalities
yeah,
um, that you know they combat each other throughout the movie, and he literally they stand up like you should be ashamed of yourself.
yeah.
It's like yeah, man,
That's why I really liked Lawrence as the main character,
yeah,
even though he wasn't like he wasn't in the biggest position of power, but he also wasn't a minor factor. So he was
yeah,
kind of a supporting character in the main role,
yeah,
sort of. But I thought that was so great because he was a mediator for everybody, and you'd think that he would have made a side, chosen the Italian guy, forgot his
oh
name,
Tedesco,
Tedesco,
yeah,
or Bellini, and Trombley seemed to be the main antagonist
mm-hmm.
pretty much the whole time. But you come to find he made his own side out of that, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think uh, I'm blanking on his name. Who's Ray Fiennes playing the main character again? Lawrence.
Oh,
He's like a facilitator, so he's just trying
yeah.
to maintain the process of everything, and I wouldn't say he's bipartisan in the film because he's obviously in cahoots with
Bellini for
Bellini.
most of it. Yeah.
Um, but even like he's still willing to talk with the others, even if he's vehemently against what they may believe in.
Yeah, he was hearing everybody out
Yeah,
and
like
helping where
he
he
like,
could.
he just wants like he knows as his job he just needs to make sure everything goes smoothly. So he's just trying to make keep everyone happy, even if it's impossible. I think Lawrence has some refreshing views with like the whole like the doubt part of
Yeah, I feel
his faith.
that's what made him such a good mediator and manager, as he was saying.
Yeah.
So he's saying the former pope who passed didn't let him resign as a cardinal
Mm-hmm.
because he's a manager, so he should manage. He's not a shepherd, so he shouldn't leave the farm type of analogy, I think it was.
Well, they were saying there's the sheeps and the shepherd, and he's a shepherd.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
like he helps keep everyone in line.
Yeah, so but he was great for that because he was kind of already one foot out the door.
Yeah.
So he didn't care whether or not he was committed to being on one person's side.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he didn't care, but he was more so just trying to find everyone's truth before he made a
Yeah.
full decision. And even with Bellini, he realized you're not fit to be pope, even though he thought he was the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing he knew to be sure was that he himself did not want to be pope,
Yeah.
um, which was really cool
Well, he
to see.
has the personal insight, and it's something that comes up between him and Bellini a lot in the film. That Bellini's like, I don't want to be pope, even though he kind of does.
Yeah.
Where I think Lawrence generally does not.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how. I take he's like very
Yeah.
much like I don't want to do this.
And to your
He like
point,
he's trying to leave. Like he was trying to leave before the Pope
yeah.
died.
And to your point, Bellini even said to Lawrence, like, you need to look within yourself because everyone who is a cardinal wants to be the Pope,
Yeah.
at least a little bit.
Hmm.
And that made Lawrence think. He's like, do I want to be the Pope?
Yeah.
And it made him upset. But he, time and again, he confirmed the notion that he did not
Yeah.
want to be the Pope.
Well, it's sort of like I don't like a test of character for him
Mm-hmm.
because like throughout the film you see uh, an array of personalities and they're all look at the camera.
Look at that.
There's an array of personalities, um, and almost like what we were talking about earlier today with like the Myers Briggs stuff,
Yeah, yeah. The
where like
personality stuff.
everyone, not everyone, but like there's like little columns people can fit into, and you see almost like all of them in the film,
Yeah,
and I think uh, it makes for very interesting storytelling.
I agree.
So
Good film.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention, um, like obviously the movie was nominated for, I believe I said eight nominations at the Oscars, and it went home with two, I think.
Nice.
I know it won. What did it win? It won adapted screenplay, and I believe something else. I predicted. Can I mention?
Let's
Can I mention?
mention.
So my university held a uh, like an Oscars betting competition. Guess who won? This guy. I won. I was named Pope of my university, so I have clout when I'm on campus.
You have campus
I
clout.
have I have Oscars. I have conclave clout. Um,
So Caden is the Pope of his university.
yes. Oh, it won a single. It won a single nomination, which was adapted screenplay. I voted. It was one of the big technical nominations. I put it in for editing, and I think that was kind of a surprise loss. It went to Honora, which was still a very well edited movie. Um, that was the one category where I was like, damn, I I felt so confident about about that one, but I didn't get it, and that's fine. I still won in the end.
You're still,
I got 17 out of 23 uh categories right.
yeah,
I think that's something to be to brag about a little
Pope
bit. Yeah, the the Pope, a fish.
official,
Um,
official Pope.
but I guess as far as the structure of the movie, I really love the cinematography
Mm-hmm.
in it. It's a very like it's a subtle movie.
Yeah.
It's not a super. I wouldn't say it's super flashy in
Mm-hmm.
any way, um, but it has just sort of a like a quiet beauty at times. Like there's a couple like slow mo, like not like super slow, but like subtle slow mo. Like that one shot um, of like all the umbrellas
Yeah, that was
walking, and
cool.
it's like a
Did you notice that one guy without an umbrella on the left side?
yeah.
I was like
Um,
looking around and I was like,
that poor guy,
there's only one guy
one guy.
without. I was trying to think about which cardinal that was that didn't
I'd be
have
like
an.
Tedesco or
I thought it.
something.
I thought it
That'd be funny.
was. Yeah, I thought it was
Um,
Tremblay or
yeah,
yeah.
but
But
there's a lot of moments where you sort of just sit with it a little bit, where I think the movie doesn't have a long runtime either. I think it's about 2 hours, so it's a very tight knit story with very strong production design, and
yeah, even the
I just think
first. I had no previous knowledge of the movie, and at the start of the movie, they're bagging up the body of
yeah.
the dead pope and stuff, and it has this 20-second shot of just the body rocking back and
Oh yeah,
forth
like
in the
in
morgue
yeah
truck or
yeah.
whatever it was, and I was like, is he coming back alive? Like, what's going to happen? I have no idea.
Jeez.
I had no knowledge of the
Yeah.
movie at all, which was cool though because I it made me think more about what was going on in the
Hmm.
movie or what could happen.
Yeah.
Like I thought Tremblay killed him or something the
I
whole
I
time.
I remember the first time I watched it, I thought there was gonna be some sort of like Knives Out moment
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, it's a murder mystery
Yeah.
actually. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was like it was being fully set up as
Because that actor specifically in things that I've watched him with,
Ray
he's like
Fiennes.
he's the guy who um he's the guy who seems like the innocent person but is
Mhm.
always in the background doing something devious,
Yeah,
which he was still, but not to the degree that I thought.
yeah.
But yeah.
Like I think it's a good movie to go into without much knowledge
Hmm.
because it has an interesting tone
Yeah.
throughout, and it's obviously dealing with a you know an interesting subject matter that you don't get to see too often.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a movie person's movie.
Mhm. I was like, this is a movie director's movie.
You know what I
When
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
like this is like a very it's an upper echelon
Mm-hmm.
type of film.
Because I could see my mom falling asleep to the movie for sure, not knowing what was going on.
My mom loves it.
But if you are ready to sit down and watch a serious movie
Yeah.
and really take in everything that's going on in the movie, it's a great movie to watch.
Shout out Mom Shababa. I think this was her favorite movie of last year.
Nice. Good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good movie.
I was
People love this kind of
thinking it
stuff.
was interesting, um, the reoccurring theme in music and shot of Lawrence walking.
Yeah,
Because
like from the
whenever
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
whenever the camera was behind him walking, you could always hear him breathing subtly,
Hmm.
and it would bring a sort of tension that I really liked.
Yeah.
And I really liked that they used that a few times
Ah!
because at the start of the movie they use it immediately. I was like, oh, this is the
Yeah,
guy.
because it's like the first shot
Hmm.
of the movie. I think it's him
Yeah,
walking.
him walking
Is
with
that a
his
thing, by the way?
suitcase.
Like, can people like can cardinals not drive?
Maybe not.
I looked up can cardinals drive, and it said no. Cardinals, which are birds, are not capable of driving vehicles. Thank you. I really, that's what I meant. No, they're not gonna give me an answer to this question.
Really?
It's gonna
Okay.
live in quandary. We'll never know.
I think it's safe to assume that they can't drive because he had to walk a long way.
Well, that's why I was like he's walking pretty far,
Yeah.
and there's like cars going by him and
And
stuff.
you
So it's
never
like
see
he's
any of
walking like in a
them
tunnel.
driving
No,
either.
you see them uh using buses and stuff,
Maybe
but
it's an inner circle frowned upon thing.
no driving for
Can't
you.
drive
No
yourself.
driving.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll never know.
yeah.
Um, I would like to mention how funny I think it is that Tedesco's character is just constantly vaping throughout the movie, and I guess that was like just a thing from the actor. He was like, I just want, I think it'd be funny. Like no one he didn't apparently he didn't I think he didn't tell anyone, and he just started vaping, and the director was like, oh, that's awesome.
It's so funny because you'd think they're all just old school,
Yeah,
old
like
timer
Puritan
guys,
type of yeah
and you even get a shot of a pile of 50 cigarettes because
yeah
they all smoke cigarettes together, and you get you get Tedesco, and in
yeah.
any situation, probably every other scene he was in, he was just like putting the
Yeah,
sorry,
it's okay.
putting the vape in his mouth.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's like
the most modern one he could find too is so
yeah,
funny.
and
It's
there's
like he
like
wasn't trying to
red,
hide it at all.
pink kind of
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah,
it's in the color scheme
yeah. It would have been
with
funny if he
the cardinal
had
color scheme.
neon green one or something. Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I love when all the cardinals are arriving. There's like that one shot that like the guy on his phone
yeah.
just chilling,
They did
and
those
they're like
still
chain
shots of the
smoking
guy.
and
Yeah,
yeah. Like I love that. That's awesome. Um,
yeah. Kind of humanizes them
I
before the.
also I this is like a weird thing, I guess, but like you know how there's like the whole like how actors eat in a scene
Hmm.
and usually they like spit it out. The dude like Tedesco in that one scene where he's like putting the parmesan in his soup, he's like pounding back soup,
He
dude.
is.
Like
He was
he
eating.
is
He
eating
was
that
eating,
soup, and like
eating,
you're there,
bro.
you're
He
probably there
was.
for a
He
while.
was like putting the parmesan. He's
Yeah,
laughing it up. He's like
like
just.
like there's no spit take there. There's just straight up like
No,
he's just
no.
down in soup,
Yeah.
and
I think that
I
was a
respect I
Zupa.
respect the
That
commitment,
was
huh?
definitely a Zupa.
A Zupa.
You go to Olive Garden, you get Zupa Toscana.
Mm,
That's what that
yeah.
was. It looked really good.
I just I thought it was so funny. Like I started like giggling when I got to that
Yeah,
part.
it was funny because he's like he's making fun of other popes,
Yeah.
sort of, and he's denying the fact that there can be another way aside from him
Hmm.
with Lawrence. He's just like, I'm gonna eat my soup.
I think too with Tedesco, he totally thought he was going to win,
Yeah, he was so confident.
and the last shot of him, uh, in the final vote
Hmm.
scene, when I'm blanking on the name, the cardinal that wins,
Starts with a B. But
Benitez.
yeah, some close
I don't want to
to that.
be I want to be
Benitez.
proper here.
That sounds right. Benitez.
Benitez, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, he looks like genuinely devastated. He's like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
sitting there
And
alone.
so is Trombley.
Yeah,
He was just sitting there
Trombley
like,
looks like sad,
yeah.
where Tedesco just looked
And so was I forgot his name. Start with an A.
Adeyemi.
Yeah. Adeyemi was like at first he was super sad.
Hmm.
And then I think he thought about what Lawrence was telling him
Yeah,
about how next like maybe next time, sort of thing. Because he has done too much sin for him to be able to be a
yeah,
pope. So I think in that moment he accepted the fact that he would never be pope, and um, Benitez was the best
yeah.
option.
I'm the
Yeah,
Pope.
Gaines the best option.
That's such like a weird thing to say,
Yeah,
but I didn't nominate myself.
you're the pope of the
I'm the
Oscars.
Pope of the Oscars
To be specific,
to be
to be
crystal
frank,
clear. I got in my vaping talk. I wanted to talk about the vaping.
I think the only other thing that I had on my list was turtles. I liked how they had turtles in the
Oh
movie.
yeah, I love the
The
turtles.
turtle fountain sort of thing.
There's this one very choppy gif of Lawrence walking with the turtle, and it's so funny to me. But I like the recurring turtle bit.
He's just it's all done.
Yeah,
Finds a turtle in the most random
and
place,
into water.
walks him back,
Yeah,
and then happy about Benitez winning.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he had the most. I think Lawrence had an very um, what's like a word? He had a very vulnerable view of faith in the film.
Yeah.
How the death of faith is certainty.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw it, like that was the hands up absolute cinema moment
Mm-hmm.
of the movie for me.
His homily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we got
It
to
was really
the
good.
that I don't want to call it a speech, but just like it was a very touching moment.
Because if you have no uncertainty, then you can have no faith
Yes.
because faith is based on
Yeah.
uncertainty. Yeah.
And like people were like later on in the film they're like keep your doubts to yourself or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like no.
Yeah.
Like he had a good
I
view,
think
and I
that was
think
a great thing to see, um, because it shows that those people in power in the church aren't necessarily, it doesn't mean that they are, there.
yeah.
They're still people. They're
Hmm.
still human.
And I think
Um,
that's what Lawrence represents the best, and Benitez.
yeah.
They represent a very um progressive and like
I thought it was awesome when Benitez was, uh, he he snapped back finally at
Tedesco.
Tedesco.
Yeah.
He was like, "You talk about war, but you know
Yeah.
nothing of it," and that was great to see too.
And those are both very um there's a tension in the room during both of those scenes, and I think uh I think for like dialogue wise it's hard to do those kinds of um speech heavy ish talk scenes without just feeling unnatural, where I
Mm-hmm.
think one, it's a testament to the writing and to the talent of the cast. Honestly, everyone's really good in the movie.
Yeah,
um
and I think it makes it even more tense
yeah.
because it is. religion that
Yeah.
the movie's based on. So I think people who are even a little bit religious will take the movie with more tension within themselves
Or
because
gravity or
yeah,
gravitas.
yeah, because they too are battling or figuring out
Yeah.
faith and
Well,
religion.
it's kind of like it's like a personal thing for everyone. Like it's a
Yeah.
personal journey.
So when the speeches are happening, you really listen in
Mhm.
to figure out within yourself what, because for a second, I bet a lot of people started to side with Tedesco because of, the bombing of the church and stuff
Mhm.
when everything happened. But then Benitez stands up and you hear a totally different side of it. And it's like, yeah, well, Tedesco can't really say anything. He
Yeah.
just has these views, and based off these views, he wants this. But
Yeah.
Benitez has been through these sort of things and can speak to the fact that his way isn't necessarily the way to go.
Yeah.
So I thought that was crazy to
A good
watch.
worldview.
Yeah.
Shout out to Isabella Rossellini. She's the sister.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know like what her like title would be.
She
Like
did great.
she's like the head
I also
sister.
loved how they slowly introduced her into a role in the film
Hmm.
because you kind of see her more often as it goes on,
Yeah.
and you're like, what does she have to do
Well,
with all this?
she has like a mic drop moment
Yeah,
too, and then
yeah,
she just does like
that was awesome.
goodbye and
Yeah,
then
she's
walks
like,
off, and
curtsy,
it's like
bye.
yeah, it's awesome. That's all my checkpoints.
It's on mine as
So
well.
I
Yeah,
guess we can move into uh, the end the end parts of our podcast segments,
yeah.
which would
So we'll do
be
the
we never
letterbox
chef
review.
kissed.
The whole movie was
I'm gonna I'm gonna chef kiss Ray Fiennes' forehead wrinkles. Mwah. Dude, he had strong forehead wrinkles in the movie. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
like the
chef's kiss his homily. How about that?
okay.
Yeah.
Um, as for
Uh,
Letterboxd
Forehead wrinkles kind of came out of left field, but yeah, I
star
like that.
rating, I would go for a solid. I give it a 4 out of 5.
I was gonna give it a 4 out of
I
5
give
at the
I
beginning.
give it a 4 out of 5 the first time. I'm between 4 and 4.5, but I lean 4. I would
Mm-hmm.
say. Um,
I would lean 4.
it was a very very good movie. I think it was very deserving of its nominations. Um, I wouldn't have been upset if it won Best Picture. There was a moment I thought it could happen because I believe it won some BAFTAs. It won something big that wasn't uh, the Oscar,
And
but
for those of you who don't know, BAFTA is
uh, the British the British Academy of Film and Television Arts.
now I know.
Yeah, now we know. Um, like I think they won like Best Ensemble and some other stuff. So
Great movie.
great movie.
Yeah. We think that Bradley Cooper would also give it a 4 out of
I
5.
I did not know about that.
Sorry. That one was for
Imagine
my
Bradley
dad.
Cooper as a cardinal. Like that's his next stage in life.
He would give a homily and he's like he'd have his eyes closed the entire time and
Guys,
he just thinks better this way and let me tell you about God and yeah.
these Philly cheesesteaks.
I love you, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
I hope you don't
we
take
love you.
offense to
There's
that.
a seat right here for you.
Yeah. Or we could get you another seat if you don't want to be
Or
this
yeah, if
close,
you
it's
don't,
fine.
there's one over there
Always welcome on the pod.
on Not Another Movie Podcast. We are now on both YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
I think
We
we
would
should
love
mention.
it if you guys
Um,
would like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and you know what? We'll put a link in the description to our Spotify if you want to go
yeah.
give that a follow as well.
Also,
Hit that
shout
bell
out
as well.
the new location.
Yeah.
We never mentioned that.
I don't know if you
Here we
guys
are.
noticed,
Yeah,
but we're in a different
we're in
location.
a
New couch,
new couch.
new room,
New room, new walls.
upgrading. Yeah.
Upgrading. Maybe we'll have a table next time.
Yeah. Who
Maybe
knows?
some shelves.
Who's to say?
We don't know.
And it's all thanks to the generous
Shavadawa
Shavadawa
household.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to them too.
Yeah.
A lot of shout outs this
All
episode.
shout-outs. Thank you to my family for the support. And
Yeah. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on every platform you can.
Stunt guy, thumbs up.
It's not good. Okay. Bye.